Okay. See, let me see if I can do it here. That's scale filtering. That's transform. Here we go. Flip horizontally. There we go. Okay. What is going on, everyone? Oh, I forgot to hit record. 3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? It is your boy Nerdtaku back with another amazing chapter of One Piece. I am joined by my beautiful wife. Again, she has been enjoying this, so we're just gonna keep it rocking. She is bringing up her spoilers now, because she is a fan of the spoilers and I am not. But that's okay, because then we get to have conversations on how the community is wild. Because usually the community wiles out and says some crazy stuff about the spoilers, and then they start building theories and also building their agendas based upon that. Like with last chapter, they would have said something like Zoro got no diffed and Sanji at least tried to block and stuff like that because people love the Zoro versus Sanji agenda. So it is very interesting to see how close the spoilers are as well to the actual source material. If you're new here, write down. Oh, now I'm messed up. Okay, right down here is my logo, and it is kind of like translucent, and it should have the chapter there. We are reading a fan translation. I will say that it is a fan translation. It is not the official. The official comes out tomorrow. So.
Oh, weird. Sorry. Just side note. I was trying to find the spoilers.
Yeah.
And I usually get them through QPs.
Yes.
And I just went and I'm like, it won't let me look. And then there's all these posts about how his stuff was taken down.
Oh no.
Somebody said he got taken by the Holy Knights.
Yo, that's crazy. I usually Few Piece is the number one spoilers guy.
It. I'm sure somebody else has it too. It was all over.
Yeah. So, so I will start out with my predictions for this chapter. A lot of people are saying a lot of things about how they think that we are going to, shift focus away from Elbaf, and I do not think that. I think we're going right back into it. I think we're getting Loki boxing with Emu, and then a few other things that are happening around Elbaf at the same time, because now we have potentially three, Holy Knights that are free, and they should have their omen power, and they should be able to be basically beating the bricks off of everybody. So I think we're getting some development with the Holy Knights. We're not going to get all Emu boxing Loki, but I think that we're getting a decent bit. So that's my prediction. And
I can't give a prediction.
Oh yeah, I know. I was gonna say, do you have anything else? Any questions about the spoilers that are not spoilerish?
I'm still trying to find them since Pew Piece got taken out.
Oh no, Pew Piece got
Lelouch. There's other ones, but these were the ones I was going off of.
I'm sure somebody has them screenshotted.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I think I might have found it.
Okay. But overall, I mean, I think that this is gonna give us a decent bit of information. I think there's gonna be some banter because, so far, Emu has been pretty straight to the point of what he is accomplishing here, and I think that we're finally gonna get some actual, Emu dialogue with Loki, because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of talk of Loki's devil fruit, and we may this might be a little bit wild, but we may get a hybrid version of Loki this chapter, or we might get him silhouetted, and then of course I believe that there's a Shonen Jump break week next week, so we're still getting a break regardless of if we wanted it or not. So what do you got?
Nothing yet.
Struggling. You want me to start the chapter?
You can start, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are going to get into it. Okay. So we have One Piece 1181, A God and a Devil. Interesting. And we see Carrot, and it says Queen on her arm. And she's got a hat on, and she's leaving an island. And it's got like a crossroads thing to Ninjin Park and Zoe, and then there's something else. But what's really interesting about this, I mean, one, obviously Carrot would love to go to a place that's made out of carrots, similar to like Big Mom. And then on top of that, she is technically the queen. She is the duke or the duchess or whatever you would call Duchess of the Mokomo Dukedom. And the cover story says, request by Nakahara Michi, Carrot sings as she strolls over sleeping panda sharks at sea. Interesting. Not bad. What's up?
Alright, so I found the spoilers.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give anything away, but the things I will say is there's something that I think you and probably a lot of people in the community alluded to that I think we might get a confirmation on. And then I think there's a big thing that happens that I have lots of questions on.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll answer. And then, yeah, and then something at the end that I definitely have questions on. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Let's stroll down. And we see Oda's notes, which are usually dumb. Why are Mr. Children's lyrics always so inspiring? Their concert was the best. This dude loves going to concerts. He goes to concerts more than we do.
You've been off, Serene.
Well, we had a child.
6 months old today.
6 months old today. And also, we still have a few concerts coming up. So,
That's true.
memories from 14 years ago. Wow, okay. So we are going to a little bit of a flashback, but nothing crazy. And we see Harold, and he says, I am the worst king in the history of Elbaf. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. And Loki says, he was only 144 at the end. Giants usually live to 300. He died way too soon. You tricked my dad, right? That makes you responsible for his death. And Emu says, the one suffered most from that inconvenience was Moo.
Ugh, he gives me the egg.
Yo, here he looks kind of crazy. He kind of looks like Handsome Squidward-esque. Like Super Giga Chad. Yo, so I love this. I do. Because I have a huge investment in Loki stocks. And this to me is so fucking awesome. Because like him being like, you are responsible. I finally, like, I am face to face with the dude who caused me to have to like have one of the biggest traumatic moments of my life, which I mean, Loki's life is like nothing but trauma.
Yeah.
But low-key, the fact that he doesn't even quite know that that he's also responsible for rocks. Like his biggest idol and his father were killed technically by the same person, kind of. You know, obviously the Gods Knights did the dirty work, but it's all because of Emu that both of his number one and number two people in the world are dead. I mean, aside from Ida, but he's face to face with that person now. Like, this is the best time to like pop off.
See?
So, what's up, Flintragus? All right, we are. Oh man, he's powering up Ragnar. He's got the black lightning coming off of it and everything.
Squirrel thing on it, or no?
Well, the squirrel is the hammer.
Oh, he turns into the hammer. Right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he was like with the hammer on top or something.
No, he's part of it.
Got it.
And he says, "Damn you back." damn you, back then. And it's like dot, dot, dot. And we see like the black lightning coming from the sky too. That's interesting. And it says, I don't care about how I'm remembered. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future.
Wait, who said that?
That's Harold that was
Oh,
saying that in
okay.
the past.
Gotcha.
And Loki looks like he's about to bring the fucking fire and fury down on this man. And yeah, the lightning is coming from the top, and it says, isn't that right? And it says, back then, what did you do to my father? And we see the lightning hit the hammer with the squirrel's face on it. And he says, Ragna Izuuchi. And he's a big ass dude. And for him to be bending in half like this, bringing like the most power down. But it looks like Emu has like the omen on his hand or something like that. And he's bringing it up. And oh man, they connect, but they don't. It's like when Luffy was using Rio and he's like hitting people without touching. And they connect. And there's a big ass explosion with black lightning coming off of it. And then like the black flames. And the attack is so crazy. Is that Sanji? Who is that?
Keep going.
There's Lilith, and then the attack is blowing everybody back. Even Jinbei is like covering his face because of it. And Loki says, I can't believe he tanked that. And he said, what's with these black flames? What sort of power do you have? Oh, weird. And he goes, like, he has like the black flames on his arm, and he goes, Omen, and his arm gets big, like jacked. And it says, Omen is simply Mu's military might. What does that mean, though? It's like he's beefing himself up. Like, I wonder if he's going to get as big as Loki. Oh, yeah. I mean, apparently he's getting pretty big. And Loki says gigantification.
Isn't that what people are speculating he could do? Or no?
Well, people thought that he was already big.
Yeah,
people
but I
thought that he was like...
I thought there was something about him changing size, because that's what I was talking about in the first thing I said.
So, I thought that maybe Loki could change his size.
Oh, I think that's what I was thinking of. But no, I get Emu.
But I mean, Emu, it makes sense, because when we saw Emu the first time in the throne room, when Sabo attacked him, he like transformed into like this giant shadowy figure and like ate the flame that Sabo produced. So like it kind of makes sense. Like I thought it was just like the Gorosei transforming, but it could just be that he's able to just manipulate his size, which is crazy in itself. Mm-hmm. And Emu says, its power dwells in all things. What? So he's still talking about Omen. He says, Omen is simply Mu's military might. Its power dwells in all things. Interesting. Then that might be that's similar to like what Rayleigh had talked about with like hockey. Because he was like, here, come closer. He was like, because will is in all things. Mm-hmm. And so everyone last chapter was like, okay, Maki is the same thing as Omen. But it sounds like Maki and hockey are a little bit too like more connected, and Omen is just another word for it. But it's similar to it. At least that's what I'm reading.
Yeah, I think
into this. but he like puts the black flame thing on his like spear, and then they clash. Loki and Emu. Man, this is just so dope. Listen, I'm gonna get on my agenda soapbox for 5 seconds here. This is, I mean, obviously Emu's not like working super hard on this, right? But at the same time, there were people who were telling me that Loki was weaker than Zoro, and Zoro got speed blitz last chapter, and so did Sanji, and it looks like Loki is actually kind of doing something, and maybe that's about to change in like the next panel, but as far as I see, this is how it's happening. Is she good?
She's sucking on her thumb.
Yeah. So they clash, and then Emu does a crazy move. Flintrasia says, wasn't there another name for hockey in Skypiea? Makes sense an older being would have a different name for the modern version of something. Yeah, so it was Mantra, and Mantra was basically just observation hockey in Skypiea. That's what they called it. Similar to how like Rio in Wano is really just like the outward emission of armament hockey. So
okay, so this isn't like something that's brand new.
It may be, it may not. I mean, Omen seems like completely, at least the way that he's manipulating Omen seems like a completely different version of hockey. If you can physically manifest things with your hockey, that's like completely something different, it seems. But this is crazy. He like vaults over Loki's hammer, and then he's above him and like turns his spear around like he's gonna shoot the black flames down, similar to how he did when he shot the flames at Gunko. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Wait, let me see. Yeah.
Okay, so this is fucking nuts.
Yeah, this is what I had a lot of questions about.
Because he's as big as fucking Loki.
Yes.
One, that's crazy. That's in this panel, it looks like he's slightly smaller than Loki. But in this panel,
No,
he's the same size. And he looks like fucking Mihawk.
That's what it says. Is that his move?
Mihawk did that in Marineford.
Yeah, that's what one of the big spoilers was, that like he used Mihawk's move.
He calls it Nemesis.
Yeah. Was that not what?
Mihawk didn't name it anything.
Oh, okay.
Because, here, hold on. Where is it? Here. He literally is doing the exact same thing.
Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hold on for the people.
Yeah,
He's literally like doing almost the exact same move. That's absolutely crazy. Oh god. Okay. But anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, and Emu created that sword?
Well, so
So
Emu has not created any sword, at least to our knowledge. But people are speculating because of it being a black blade and him having black flames, it being like a product of Emu. But we've seen other black blades. And it was not before Emu's time, but it was different because it was Shusui and it was Ryuma's sword, like the number one swordsman in Wano. But this looks, I mean...
We don't know, yeah. The spoiler says Emu creates a giant sword.
Well, this looks to be a giant sword.
Yeah.
So he makes his spear into it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, like, right here, it's like a mace. Because it's like a circular at the end with, like, the horns. And then he just turns around and turns it into a sword.
Yeah.
And plunges it through.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because you can honestly tell that Loki is also not healed yet. Because he was, like, chained up and attacked by Shamrock.
Oh, yeah. How can you be?
And it was like, oh, he would take him a month to recover. But he didn't obviously get a month. He got like a few hours.
Okay, keep going.
Absolutely crazy work. And Loki is just hitting the ground hard. But it looks, I mean, this is the angle from where the sword is in him. But it looks like the sword disappears. Because it looks like it's made out of that black stuff. And then when he's done using it, it just disappears.
Yeah. Oof.
And Emu says, strength is an attribute people naturally crave.
He's about to
And he says, and yet that craving can be easily satisfied via corruption. Hold on. So here, he doesn't have his wings. And then all of a sudden, his wings, like, just come out.
That'll probably make him seem even bigger.
Well, it's also crazy because, like, it looks like he's just manipulating his form, like, with Omen. Which, to me, this seems eerily similar to being, like, the antithesis of Luffy. Emu is imagining that he's doing all this stuff, and it's happening. He's able to do it with Omen. He's able to manipulate reality in a way. He turned his spear into a mace and then a sword, and he's just doing all these things, and then all of a sudden he's making wings after not having any.
Yeah.
Like, he's just fucking awesome. And Emu says, it merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant, which is exactly what Harold, the Gorosei, all the Holy Knights have done. And then Loki says, it like is powering up Ragnir. And it says, when their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. And then it says, like, under, like, the little notes, it says, power, quotations, is Chikara, is the stated reading, though it uses the same kanji previously used for Omen, a.k.a. Maki, demonic aura. And so Emu charges up and shoots one of the Omen blast things with, like, the devil horns on it. And it says, those three things together form a trinity. So, corruption, covenant, and power.
True.
And he just blows up Loki's face, basically. And so it says, those three things together form a trinity known as dominion.
Okay.
And he says, shall I grant thee the power of a god? And it says, in one step thou wouldst go far beyond humanity. And Loki's just like barely holding on after his face explodes. And even though he got like blown back right here, he's like still standing in that like pose and then just swings on Emu, and Emu's like shocked for a second. And he says, I don't want it. And it just like causes like a loud crackling of lightning. And he's like huffing and huffing. And he's like, so God's dominion, that's your power. And he says, it sounds more like a deal with the devil to me. And Emu says, is there a difference between a god and a devil? That's a bar. Man, Loki's so tough. Fucking love Loki. My Loki stocks are going to be looking great. And Loki says, beats me. I just know I ain't going to let myself be dominated by anyone. And Emu's just like hitting him with the 3-dot pause. And he says, Emu says, the world itself rejoices in a state of dominion. Ooh. Oh my God, it's Joy Boy silhouette.
So Luffy.
And then we see what looks to be Emu in this, or maybe even Lily. And Emu says, like, thinks to himself, isn't that right? And Loki's just charging up, and then Emu's like shook by it for a second. Oh my God. And then Emu crashes out mad hard.
That's a crazy panel.
Yeah. And he says, isn't that right, Joy Boy? Oh my God. And he's just all this Conqueror's hockey is just pouring out of him. And his mouth is mad big. Oh my God. This dude is having flashbacks. Like
who's he saying that to?
I mean, I think that he's saying that to like the memory of what happened. Like,
okay.
Because like he's reminded of this, and
Gotcha.
and he's just like so mad about it. But then we see like all of a sudden Luffy is like triggered by this mid eat, and he's like nom near mirror, and it's like I need more, gotta eat more. I've never felt anything like this before. Shoot, it's so heavy. It's like I'm suffocating. What's with this guy's hockey? If I don't eat all this, we can't win. And he's like, more. And he's super fat. He's just eating all this stuff. Oh my God. This is so crazy. I did not think we were going to get a fucking Emu crash out. And then Loki connects with Emu. And Emu says, you still lost in thought? That tells me one thing. You're underestimating me. And he hits him so hard that he just flies into the atom tree. And we see Emu, he's like literally encased in it, and he's bleeding. We can see that for sure. And he like sees it, and then all of a sudden he sees Loki transform, and he's charging up his lightning. And Emu looks like he's like a little shook for a sec, and he's like Needhog. And he like does the same like kind of like hand gesture that he did for Omen. And it says Thorheim, and he shoots this gigantic electric blast at him. And it looks like it connects with Emu slightly, but it doesn't matter because probably whatever Omen he did probably stopped him. And what's crazy is this kind of looks like there's Conqueror's hockey coming off of that lightning blast. So it seems like Emu protected himself. And then he says, he's got like the 3 dots, and it says, thou really hast returned. And it says a fearless smile. And Emu is grinning something crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, do you want me to read the spoilers?
Yeah, hit me with the spoilers.
Oh gosh. It says the chapter focused on Loki and Emu. Loki tries to crush Emu with Ragnir hammer form, but Emu stops Ragnir with a huge black flame. Emu increases the size of his body and now is almost the same size as Loki. Emu creates a giant sword named Nemesis, similar to Mihawk's sword, and pierces Loki's chest. Emu uses the same sword attack as Mihawk.
Yep, that tracks.
Emu explains that humanity's desire for power leads to corruption. To easily obtain that power, humans make pacts. And when these three things come together, domination arises.
Okay, yeah.
Loki says he won't submit to anyone, but Emu replies, true happiness only comes under domination.
Continue.
Then Emu remembers Joy Boy, still shaded it seems they were friends. And suddenly Emu shouts very angry, isn't that right, Joy Boy? They said that, but I didn't expect it to look like that.
Yeah.
Loki attacks Emu and embeds him into the Atom Tree. Then Loki changes to dragon form and shoots a
Thorheim,
yeah. A chapter ends with Emu smiling after surviving Loki's attack. Emu, so you have returned. End of chapter. Magazine break next week. It's Japanese Golden Week holiday.
Damn.
So that's pretty much
Yeah.
what happened.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, those are some pretty accurate spoilers.
I sent you that.
Okay, so
I don't watch this.
It's official. Emu and Joy Boy have a relationship similar to Sasuke and Naruto. Davy Jones was likely their shared enemy. Emu is a Sasuke who won and ruled the world alone. This confirms Blackbeard as final villain and Emu reconciling his past and joining Luffy against Blackbeard. That confirms none of that, first off. That confirms zero. I hate when people say confirmed and it's like not even fucking close. That would be trash. One, I'm sorry. I'm gonna crash out for a sec. If Emu fucking comes and is like, oh my god, I finally see the error of my ways. Brother, you were fucking condoning slavery, genocide, and everything else for the past 900 years. 900 years. You mean to tell me that guy's changing his ways? After 900 years of fucking slavery, genocide, and overall just being shit fucking human beings. Or devils, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No fucking way. No. I'm sorry. That is trash fucking writing if I've ever seen it. Were they friends at one point? Sure. But guess what? There is a line that people cross that you can't fucking be friends with them anymore.
Yeah.
This guy obviously was there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. They might have been chill at one point. Davy Jones might have been the fucking guy who was like their final enemy or whatever. But it doesn't matter because he's right. He was corrupted by the power and he actively was seeking out dominion over the entire world. He used the 20 kingdoms and the world government to do that. And he's right. This is what he has created. He said, and I quote, the corruption, the covenant, and the power, these three things form a trinity known as dominion. And he has had unfettered dominion over the entirety of the world, basically. Yes, were there outliers? Were there Rogers? Were there Roxas? Were there all these things? But literally up until, what was it, 40 fucking years ago, when God Valley happened, it seemed like no one stepped to this dude. So he had unfettered, basically, for 850 years. He's basically just big chillin', holding the world down, and didn't even have to come down off of his pedestal that we know of. I don't know. To me, this guy's past redemption. There's no way that Emu's going to be like, you're right, guys. I see it. The error of my ways. I've only completely restricted society for the past 800 to 900 years, and now I'm all of a sudden going to see that I have been the one who's wrong, that slavery is obviously wrong, and all the people that literally live in the castle that I fucking live in and have human slaves that they literally ride around and treat like shit, and also just blow their brains out when they're not doing what I say or what they're saying. Those are the people that are the wrong ones. There's no fucking ungodly way that Emu is all of a sudden getting reformed. It's absolutely bananas to think that. And if that actually happens, I don't know. I like that to me is a hard pass. Like there would have to be Emu's backstory would have to be the best backstory I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Like there are people who can have redemption and it makes sense. We've seen it. We've seen Zuko. We've seen, so many other characters that have done terrible things and repented for it. This guy ain't one of them. You don't do this for like 1,000 years and all of a sudden be like, you're right. My bad. I don't know. Crazy fucking work. Flynn Trey just says, nice to see Oda still got it with fight chapters. And then he says, more like an unholy trinity, but God's dominion is wild. Yeah. No, it's absolutely insane. That's crazy. This is crazy. Honestly, this to me more feels like Blackbeard and Luffy should be able to team up against Emu to put him in the dirt. More than it would be that Emu's going to help Luffy put Blackbeard in the dirt. Flynn Trager says, I mean, if he's right, then Emu's place in the world probably isn't by his design just holding the place. I don't know. That seems kind of stupid because, like, if you are the one who is in this place, it sounds to me like Emu had this idea, right? Where there is peace, there is there is life, there is no insane amount of suffering as far as he's concerned, and things like that in a world that is dominated by him. But it is a world that is wildly unfree. And that is probably where him and Joy Boy clash the most, is because Emu said peace through strength and oppression, and Joy Boy said peace through freedom, where everyone gets to live their lives how they see fit and whatever. But there is also the detriment to freedom of if someone is free, they are able to do whatever they want. And that could mean oppressing the freedoms of others. It's really one of those things that, a lot of people have talked about when it comes to, is Emu the bad guy? Emu's obviously the bad guy. But there is a reason why he does what he does more than there is, not a reason. Like, he's not just doing this solely based on the fact that he wants to oppress everyone in a certain way. He thinks that this is the best way to do it. Just straight up. He probably thinks all the things that he was spouting reads like, like a devil, basically. Strength is an attribute people naturally crave. People crave to be strong. And he says, and yet that craving can be easily satisfied via corruption. You can get strong through corruption by corrupting the other people around you to be part of the evil cycle that you are creating. And then a covenant, as far as like you take you swear to do the evil things, and then that brings forth the power. And these three things form a trinity known as a dominion. You have the people who are loyal to you, with the covenant. You have the corrupted people who are in that covenant, and that gives you power over everyone. It's the same reason why the government in One Piece is structured the way it is. You have Emu at the top, you have the Holy Knights that protect Emu, as well as the Gorosei. And then under the Gorosei is the entire world government. You're talking about CP 1, 2, 3, 0, all of them, all the CPs. And then on top of that, under the world government's branch, you have the Navy. And the Navy has all of their, rank structure. You have got the commander in chief, Kong. You got, the fleet admiral, Akainu. You got the three admirals underneath him, and then the vice admirals, and so on and so forth. That whole structure is designed to keep everything in line, but it is not obviously the correct way, because we see how much, even in the Marines, the world government, and even with the Holy Knights and whatever, they're all corrupt. There is a corrupt system in which it oppresses everything down. And that's exactly what Emu's talking about. When the 20 kingdoms came together, Emu put that in place to do said thing. And he's been able to do it for the past 900 years. And Joy Boy obviously probably fought against that, because he's like, hey, people should be free to do whatever the fuck they want. He is the warrior of liberation. He wants people to be free. Even though freedom also comes at a cost, because if everybody is free, then that also means that people are free to do bad things. So
you're right.
It's the cost.
Something interesting I saw on Reddit says, if we're thinking about it like Joy Boy and Emu are total opposites, like yin and yang, what if there's some white flames Luffy hasn't mastered yet?
I think so. Well, here's the thing.
He's got
the white flames. So many levels of oppression. Yeah, 100%.
Seriously.
I had a theory that was originally my theory on Emu, which it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's right. I would say it was in the ballpark. And so I had originally theorized, I want to say back in Wano, and actually even before that, when we got word that Rox and Roger fought with Garp, and Roger and Garp had to team up to destroy Rox. This was before we even knew what actually happened in God Valley. I said that my thoughts were, Emu had a power unlike any other, that he was able to put his will into other people, and they wouldn't be able to resist his will. It would be like him pouring his Conqueror's Haki into someone, and that would mean his will was so strong it overrid their will. And that's what I thought happened. I thought Roger and Garp actually were the ones who got turned by this will, this what I called the command of all things. And I said that they were used as pawns to destroy Rox and erase him from existence, because of the fact that we know from history, and Oda loves history when it comes to this type of shit, that all civilizations fall within a few hundred years because of the fact that people get too corrupt. People have too much power. It happened way back, with Caesar and all these other places where they get turned on because, exactly, because of the fact that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so the reason why Emu was able to reign for the past 900 years is because the people underneath him couldn't disobey him. The Gorosei, the Holy Knights, they were all influenced by Emu's will with the command of all things, and they couldn't disobey him, which is not untrue, because we just found out that it's actually just the covenants. The covenants basically are Emu's will in your head. We saw Harold, as soon as he got that covenant, that next level, instead of the shallows, it's like the abyssal covenant. He immediately was being influenced to the point where he was killing his friends, his royal guards. And so it's literally that. It's that idea that Emu's will is seeping into all these people. And Emu is a corrupt individual, and that's why you have Killingham being super racist to Fishman. You have Sommers who's super fucking weird when it comes to a love and like attachment to, you know, people. That's why he wanted to see the kids die and see their parents cry over their dead bodies, basically. That's part of Emu. Low key, like their whole corruption is part of the whole situation. Like, I don't understand why, like, this just goes back to, like, I don't think Emu can be a person that is able to be redeemed, because for years, centuries, he's been the problem. And don't get me wrong, there's not a good solution, because there is chaos in freedom. But there's a better way than what we have going on in the world. And I think that's what Dragon truly stands for when it comes to this. He's a revolutionary who wants to dismantle the current corrupt system, because it's been corrupt for too long and power has ultimately just corrupted it completely through and through. And he wants to tear that system down so he can rebuild a new system that works more for the people and actually does what the world government intended to do with the original 20 kings, and actually govern in a way that's meaningful for all people instead of just the people that were the original 20, and dismantle the celestial dragon system and the king of the world and all that other stuff, and the Gorosei. It should be a democracy. Every time the reverie happens and all those kings get together, that should be a version of the democracy that they build. So, anyway, rant over.
People are putting them side by side, the swords.
Yes.
The Mihawk thing. There's lots of debate if it's the same thing, and there's lots of debate if that's even a sword, because it just, like, dissipated.
Yeah.
So,
which, it's not.
Go to that part. Because what do you think that is? Like, if that is true, if it is connected to Mihawk, why?
The only thing that I could think of is, Noble said, hungry woman is more dangerous than 1 in 20. It will be interesting to see the face of those who see this in the anime. Yeah. Yeah, this episode, whenever this episode gets animated, it's going to go hard. But then again, all the stuff with Emu is going to go crazy. They're probably going to have to, like, take all of the stuff that's happening with Emu and just, like, make it movie level quality, like every time Emu shows up on screen. Which is why I'm so glad that they're going seasonal, because then they can do that. I mean, to me, this isn't that, because we see here, if you look right here, all right, you see, which this is interesting actually. So if we go back right here, right, you see one side of his spear is like a jagged blade, and the other has this black flame.
That's completely different now.
And then when he all of a sudden uses Omen, he gets bigger, and then all of a sudden the one end of it, where the black flame, I'd imagine, is like this demon thing that he turns into a mace to clash with Loki. Mm-hmm. Then it's like he does like a crazy somersault over it, and then all of a sudden it's really hard to tell, because I wish we could see the top of this, like the top of this panel, you know what I'm saying, where like the rest of the staff part would be, because it's hard to tell if like this black part, when he like jumps up like this, actually just like
I don't know,
changes, because if you look, there's no hilt. anywhere on this staff. No hilt whatsoever. And the hilt is this part.
Thank you. I was like, what could the help be?
Yeah. The hilt is this part.
I didn't want to ask. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Keep going.
So there's no hilt.
Yeah.
But then when he swings around and all of a sudden is looking down at Loki, he's got a materialized hilt right here.
Yeah.
And then there's like a fiery thing right at the end. And then to me, it's like it protrudes out. That's why like you see like the splash effect. It's almost like it's like one of those kids' lightsabers that you like flick and then it like comes out.
Yeah.
It kind of just like shoots out, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just weird.
And then it dissipates immediately. But you see, even here, look, there's the hilt. It's like fucking there.
I don't know. So you don't think there's any nod towards Mihawk?
Oh no, it's definitely a nod towards Mihawk.
Oh.
But I don't think that it means what people probably will think it will mean.
What do you think?
I think people are going to say that Emu is Mihawk's father or something like that.
Crazy.
Right? And people are going to say that because also of a line that Zoro says. When Zoro fights S-Hawk, he fights him, and he's like a seraphim of Mihawk. He's a clone, basically, of Mihawk.
Yeah.
When Zoro fights him, he says, that's crazy. You're way more human than he is.
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yep. So I think that people are going to take the whole fact that they said that, what would be less human? Well, if their son is actually a devil, or the child of a devil. So, very interesting. Just very interesting stuff, and people are going to go crazy with this. They truly are, and like the whole thing that happened like last time when one of the chapters, it looked like there was like a 4-6 in front of Emu's, like when he's like looking at Zoro, it says like, it looks like a little squiggle and then it has like another squiggle right next to it. But people are saying that that's a 4-6, and 4-6 in Japanese is Yoru. So people were saying like Yoru, okay, Yoru, it's a nod to Mihawk type thing. And then this happens the next chapter. People are going to go crazy with that as well. So very, very interesting. Yeah, this chapter is crazy. Flynn Trey just says, yeah, there's a lot of ways to suggest they have any sort of relation. Yeah, like there's a modicum of ways, like the eyes, because of Mihawk's eyes and everything. Like there's a good possibility that Mihawk is related to Emu because of the eyes, because of the sword, the blackened, the blackened blade. Maybe it has to be forged in dark fire to blacken it. Maybe that's something that Shusui was as well. Maybe it's like you have to learn like Omen as a regular person to be able to, because like Zoro has like the green flames or whatever when he uses Conqueror's Haki. But what if you need to take it so far to the next level that you actually manifest black flames and then forge your blades in the black flames to create them? Everyone thought that this was Luffy's mother, but it turned out to be Joy Boy's Nakama. I mean, it seems like they have a sort of relationship, but I don't know how they're gonna play that off of, this being, him being part of Joy Boy's crew. So very interesting. So All right, I'm going to go through this chapter real quick and give my thoughts on it. Please, if you can, like the stream. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not following, please subscribe to the channel. It's free and it helps me. Noble said, and Joy Boy is curly. Don't trust curly-haired people. Yeah, listen. Joy Boy, maybe. So this part, like this whole situation in the very beginning where, Loki is thinking back to Harold and realizing that Emu is that person. And then Noble said, it's already 4 a.m. Good night. Good night, man. Have a good one. And like this whole thing, like besides the fact that he doesn't know that this is also the person that killed Rox is kind of crazy. Because I feel like he would go even crazier than he already is because of the trauma with Harold. Flynn Trader said Joy Boy's silhouette looks more like Inaki Godoy's Luffy than manga Luffy. Yeah, now I see that. But yeah, this whole situation and Ragnar powering up, the black lightning coming off of it, and then the regular lightning hitting just goes crazy. And the fact that Emu like also did the same thing, and because of that they didn't even actually touch is so good. The only thing that sucks and what people will do here is because we only actually get to see the tree in the back, we don't actually get to see if they split the sky, which kind of sucks. But the impact itself is so crazy. It's felt all over Elbaf, which is nuts because of how big it is. I'm very interested to see who this is that Lilith and Bonnie are near. It kind of looks like Sanji's hair, but I don't really get it. Unless this is for some reason Gunko, maybe? I don't quite know. I have no idea. But then Emu just going crazy, and then even Loki just being like, I can't believe he tanked that. And then him powering himself up with gigantification, making his spear a mace, and clashing with Loki, and then doing his crazy move to like Nemesis. Absolutely awesome. Like this is a really awesome like choreographed fight. And Emu just seems like he's just so insane. And what's really great about this is it really highlights the fact that Emu is very calm, cool, and collected, and is not getting caught by anything that Loki is doing. He's maintaining the demeanor or whatever, and completely just piecing up Loki. Oh. And then when Emu gets his wings out, starts talking about like this whole thing with, strength is an attribute that people naturally crave, and yet that craving can easily be satisfied via corruption. It merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant. And then when their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. Those three things together form a trinity known as dominion. And just like the fact that Emu is just absolutely dog walking Loki for this time. But Loki's putting up, like he's getting hit, but he's still holding his own. And then when Loki's just charging up the hammer and he gets hit, and the fact that he's like basically about to fall backwards, and this is why like I'm just like, dude, this guy is built different. This is reminiscent to me of Luffy's Gear 2 moment against Lucci, where he's like about to fall after he said that he wouldn't fall again. and he like grips himself and just all of a sudden like goes back down and then unleashes like a Gatling that puts Lucci into the wall and beats him. He like holds himself up like he's like smoke is coming out of his mouth because of the explosion that happened in his face. And then he still cocks back and swings, and it even shocks Emu, and he just like smashes him into the ground. And after he says like, I don't want it. And like, even though he put like so much effort into that, Emu's still standing there, no problem. And his whole conversation about like, shall I grant thee the power of God? In one step, thou wouldst go far beyond humanity. And he's like, I don't want it. And then Loki just being like, so God's dominion, that's your power. It sounds more like a deal with the devil to me. And this whole moment of like Emu just being like, is there a difference between a god and a devil? And Loki just being this person that like I do like I really vibe with Loki. Him being like, beats me. I just know I ain't gonna let myself be dominated by anyone. Like that's the indomitable spirit that I fucking love. That's that conqueror's spirit. And him saying that, I feel like is what triggered Loki or Emu to be like, the world itself rejoices in a state of dominion. And then he gets reminded of Joy Boy in that moment, because I bet you Joy Boy also said something similar, or at least embodied this moment of like, I'm not gonna let myself be dominated by everyone. And this is probably what Emu said to Joy Boy in those times, was probably like, the world itself rejoices in a state of dominion. Meaning like, if we control everything, if we dominate the world, then it will truly have peace. It will truly rejoice in this peace, because no one can step out of line, because I will make sure that everything is controlled. And that's why like he's thinking so hard about Joy Boy. And Emu's just like, isn't that right? And you see like Loki is about to catch this dude lacking, because his mind is on Joy Boy more than it is the moment. And then he just crashes out so hard while thinking about him, and we get this crazy panel of, isn't that right, Joy Boy? And he's just like just conquers unleashed, and Luffy's like, yo, I gotta get back. And that's when Loki just catches him lacking something crazy. And what's so awesome about this is we see Loki charging up, and even though he's like exploding with Conqueror's Hockey in this moment, Loki hits him so hard. And I love this, because he's like, you still lost in thought? That tells me one thing, you're underestimating me. And he blasts him right into the tree. And in that moment, he's like, oh shit, like I'm fucking up right now. Like I'm too much thinking about the past. And the fact that he transforms into the dragon and just launches, like, I love it. I do. This is a great chapter. This is a great chapter. Man, it's so good. But yeah, I love this chapter. This chapter is phenomenal. To me, this is like a 9.5, maybe, you know, maybe a 9.7. I love these fights. Flintray just says, lost focus. Damn, Emu. Yeah, bro was caught lacking. And, you know, like he already has like a time limit. So it's very possible that him lacking like this, it may be what really puts the nail in the coffin for this dude. But yeah, no, this is an insane chapter. I love this chapter. This is definitely a 9.7 because of how good it is. Um, just insanely good. The spoilers were really spot on as well, from what my wife said. And so, I mean, it's fantastic. I'm so happy with this. I'm so sad that we have a break week because of Golden Week, but well, guess what? We're gonna come back with 1182, and I bet you that's gonna have a crazy cliffhanger because it's probably gonna be to the point where next chapter we see Luffy show up Gear Fifth and sees like Emu for the first time, and they actually finally have a conflict. So, oh my god, I can't wait. I feel like I've been waiting so long, and we're here. You know, we have Emu. Emu is here in Elbaf. Like every arc has been just raising the stakes so incredibly. Like the fact that we didn't even realize it. Like we went to like Wano and it was like Yonko territory. We had two Yonkos. It was wild. And then all of a sudden we went to, Egghead, and we were like, oh, the stakes aren't that crazy. Oh, there's an admiral, whatever. All of a sudden, boom, a Gorosei member shows up. Okay, now shit's crazy. Oh, damn, they transformed. Oh, damn, all five of them are there. Like, that's crazy stakes. And now we were like, Holy Knights, whatever, Shamrock's there. And then like, oh, Shamrock left. Where's the real stakes? Like, these guys are kind of amateurs, especially once we saw them get beat by all of the people that were currently here. And then all of a sudden we were like, man, what is going to raise the stakes here? Because this seems kind of subpar. We thought maybe there was going to be a hidden thing that was going to like make them more menacing because they are able to regenerate. They're immortal. And then all of a sudden, Emu shows up. Emu, the big bad, the king of the world, shows up. And these last few chapters have just been so fucking good. Damn. We're here. But anyway, all right. It's a 9.7 and it's wonderful. And I'm so happy that you guys were able to come through and talk with me through this. I'm so thankful for all of you guys. I'm thankful for my amazing wife who is, now a very active member of this community, reading spoilers and reading the manga with me every time a chapter comes out. It's just so great. I love having this community. One Piece, like I say every time, is better as a conversation, and the fact that I get to have it with you guys makes me so happy, makes me overjoyed, truly. So thank you so much, Flintrageous. Thank you, Noble, for coming through. Thank you to anyone who's watching this after the fact. I appreciate you. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just thank you. Appreciate you so much. I will be right back here. Not next week, but the following week. And we'll be back with 1182. My wife will probably be a part of that as well because I've been loving this time with you guys and also sharing this with her. So thank you guys always, and I will see you guys next time. Flintrageous, thank you so much for coming through. He said, yeah, man, great review. Can't wait for the next one. See ya, Taku. See you next time. I will be right here. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.